Are alligators something people living in Florida are likely to see, or is it just something that they know is out there but 99% of people won't ever see in their life? Native Floridian here. It's changed a lot in the past few decades, but assuming there's a gator in every pond is still a safe bet. Gators mostly avoid humans and will either ignore you or hide until you go away, but mostly isn't always, so you've got to play it safe. The only real, be alert, danger from gators is in tourist areas. There's always some dumbass tourist who thinks it would make a cool memory or whatever to try and feed the gators. Gators aren't smart enough to distinguish between a human giving them food and a human being the food. So when Mr. Dumbass Tourist feeds a gator, the gator come back to the same place again a few days later expecting to leave with a mouthful of food, one way or another. I've lived in Florida for 35 years. They're around in fresh water. You just use common sense and it's not a big deal. In Florida, the rule is, every puddle has a gator in it. Not because they actually are, but because you don't want to risk it. Actual encounters with gators are limited to people who are often near ponds or pools. Most people who live in Florida will see an alligator in their lifetime, but you see them most frequently the bearer you are to a body of water, but they do spend a considerable amount of time on land moving around. A body of water can be very small and still have a gator, and they often go undetected. They really love golf courses, so you see a lot of them there. Florida's native. I am 68, and not only do we know that every pond, lake and canal have gators, don't even think about entering them, but when I was a kid we saw bull sharks in water that flowed into the Atlantic Ocean. I've traveled regularly to the Gulf Coast of Florida throughout my life and have seen gators on a few occasions. Usually just their heads poking out of a pond or lake. They occasionally end up on the beach as well, and that happened one time when I was in Panama City. Yeah, there's signs all over my neighborhood, lakes and ponds that warn you to not bring small animals or children close to the water. You can see a few most of the time if you look. They'll be out there sunbathing. Go in any park there and you will see some. No, you'll most definitely see them. They hang around in a lot of places. They were always all over the golf courses at my grandmom's community residence. We even went gator hunting, not literally, but we take the golf cart out to spot them. They are like squirrels in other parts of the country. All of the golf course water hazards have gators in them. Gators are pretty common. Go to any body of freshwater pond size or larger and there is a chance you'll see one. Many people in Florida have seen one just because of curiosity. There are places where they commonly congregate that are easy to access, such as the Tamiami Trail through the Everglades. That being said, if you live in a city or suburb and don't go near freshwater often, you might go years without seeing one. I have been there a couple times and seen them, so in a lifetime it seems pretty likely. Everyone I know who has lived in Florida has seen alligators. My uncle lives near a stream and alligators have come up to the back fence. Golfers see them all the time. You also see them by the side of some roads and at college football games. South Carolina here. I parked behind my hotel near Hilton Head, SC, and some folks were looking through the fence behind my car at something. Yup, it was a gator. I guess the answer is, as someone said here, they can be anywhere water is. I wasn't expecting one in SC though. Lived in SWFL for 12 YRS. Basically any pond or larger will have at least one. Once they get too big, they have to be moved. This includes in housing developments and golf courses. I went down Canada for a week's vacation, probably saw 10-14, some on the side of the road while driving. Spending the winter in Central Florida, I see gators at least 4x per week. I've seen one just crossing the road when I was there as a tourist for a few weeks.